for a few brief moments to mirth and joy in the land of fancy. You, who thinks life has nothing to do with a bit of innocent laughter that harms no one, these tales are not for you. If you go further, you will be scandalized by seeing good, sober folk of real history being so capricious and motley that you wouldn't even know them, if not for their names. And though you know their names, you might not know the truth about them. Well, after you take this journey now, you still might not. But you will know a truer truth than you did before. Here we have a whole host of knights, priests, nobles, yeomen, ladies, lasses, landlords, beggars, and whatnot, all leading the merriest of merry lives. They're all bound together by nothing more than a few strands of old ballads, snipped and clipped, and tied together again in dozens of knots which lead these legendary folks here and there, merry as they go. And the strands that might surprise you most are the truest tales of all. Here is a country bearing a well-known name, where no chill mists cool our spirits, and no rain falls, except that which rolls off our backs, like sleek drakes, with April showers rolling off their backs, where flowers bloom forever, and birds are always singing, where every fellow sings a merry tune as he travels the roads, and beer and ale and wine flow like water in a brook. This country is the land of fancy, of that pleasant kind that, when you tire of it, whisk, you clap your hands together, and it's gone. And then you're ready to return to your everyday lives with no harm done. And now, I lift the curtain that hangs between here and no man's land. Give me your hand.
Still intent to rob me? What would you have of me?
At this point, I'd be glad to have your mercy.
Yeah?
And perhaps your name, if you will give it.
You have not only my mercy, but more importantly, God's mercy. Some call me the Curtal Friar of Fountaindale. Others call me in jest the Abbot of Fountain Abbey. Still others simply call me Friar Tuck.
Oh, I like the last one. It gets to the point.
Oh.
And so will I. I apologize for how we met. I didn't realize you were a man of the cloth. Why didn't you tell me?
You didn't ask. You were too busy trying to rob me.
Oh, sorry about that. Aren't you going to ask for my name?
You didn't ask? I already know it.
You do?
Yes, your actions and your appearance give you away. You are sometimes called Robin of Locksley, or Robert of Locksley, or Robin of Sherwood, or Robin of York, or Robert of Sherwood. But most of the time, you are simply called Robin of the Hood.
Not Robin Hood?
No, I never heard of that one.
Still, you know me by more names than I know myself.
Most men have trouble making one name for themselves. You've been busy.
All in the service of good, I assure you.
I assure you, there is no good in stealing from members of the church.
Oh, I didn't know you were a friar when I...
When you what? That first step to recovery is admitting you have a problem.
But I give it all to the poor.
You keep it for yourself and your band of men.
Well, we are the poor. It's not my men's fault any more than it is mine.
That first step. At last. I'm ready to hear your confession.
What confession? I have nothing to confess.
Oh, yes. Forgive me, yes. Let me change the subject. Tell me what it was that was no sin and no fault of your own that made you become an outlaw and earn the name Robin of the Hood.
Well, I was very young.
Of course you were.
It was a simple exercise in marksmanship.
Of course it was. No sin in that.
Started with the sin of wagering.
I'll bet it did.
I bet some woodsman 20 marks I hit a deer far off in the distance, and of course I did.
Of course you did.
But then they told me it was one of King Henry's deer. While they argued over whether or not to turn me in, I tried to leave, but one of them was particularly drunk. Took a parting shot at me with his bow. From instinct, I turned and shot with slightly better aim than his.
How slightly?
Mortally.
I see.
I wish he had never said one word to me. I wish I had never passed his way. Oh, or that even my bow finger had been stricken off before it happened. In haste, I killed. And I still grieve over it every day.
Remember the old saying, what's done is done, and the egg cracked cannot be cured, huh?
I've lived in Sherwood Forest ever since, with 200 pounds on my head and not nearly as many in my pocket. And with the Sheriff of Nottingham after me.
He is a stickler for the law. He tolerates no criminal activity in Nottinghamshire except his own, of course.
It's more than that. The man I killed was one of the sheriff's kin.
You need to improve your aim.
My aim is exceptional.
If your aim was so good, you would have shot someone who wasn't the sheriff's kin.
What kind of friar are you?
The kind with good advice. You're responsible for more than yourself now.
I know what I'm responsible for.
Eh?
For 2 years I've led these men, over 100 men now.
Over 100 men, all outlaws.
My men are not soulless criminals any more than I am. Some of them shot deer, but only to keep their families from starving in winter. Some were turned out of their inheritance, their farms added to the king's lands. Some were despoiled by a baron or abbot, esquire.
And that justifies keeping everything you take? Just because you were despoiled by others doesn't mean you can spoil yourself with the spoils of your exploits.
What?
It's a sin to let others starve when you could help feed them.
But
you don't have to starve yourself, of course. If your men didn't have criminal hearts before, don't let them become criminals now.
These people were alone and desperate until I brought them together. They've all vowed to not do to others what was done to them. What more should we do?
You must help others before yourself. It'll feed you more than any morsel of money can. Convince them of that.
I can try.
Try. They always say they'll try.
They're good men, well-intended, and I want what's best for them. You're right. We should start to think of others before we fall into thinking too much only of ourselves. We should help those that can't help themselves the way we can.
Well, it's a start. You lead a merry life, but you could use some guidance along the way.
You want to keep an eye on me?
Wouldn't it help all your men's souls to have a good stout chaplain such as I to help lead them in holy matters, at least from time to time? Robin of the Hood.
You're welcome whenever you can get away from Nottinghamshire. Friar of the Tuck.
Right.
Where are you off to? Your mistress won't be pleased that you ran to hide while outlaws robbed her. I struck a nerve. If you persist, I may have to strike more of you than that. You don't give up easily. You don't even know how to fight a little. You think you have the upper hand, but it takes more than winning to emerge victorious.
Sorry! We can't let you kill him. Yes. He talks too much and he's very bossy, but without Robin Hood, we wouldn't be Robin Hood and his merry men.
And women.
Come again?
Merry men, merry men. Women can be merry too.
Oh, apparently.
And merry women can fight just as hard as merry men.
Oh, how well my wife has taught me that. Oh, isn't that right, my wife?
Whoa!
Oh, Robin, we got our spoils, and then some.
Excellent. Well done. Give it all to the poor.
All?
Yes.
All?
Still yes.
All. But what about us?
There are people who have less than us and can't help themselves the way we can. We should help them before we help ourselves, otherwise we're just as bad as those we steal from.
But if we keep nothing for ourselves, we won't survive to help others for very long.
We'll help ourselves enough that we can continue helping others.
What about the people we just stole from? Steal from the rich and give to the poor is fine, but we just made them poor, so do we have to give it right back to them?
It would take more than we took to make them poor.
I don't know. Sharing everything with strangers? Well, who looked after us before we banded together? To most of us, what we steal is fair compensation.
Most of us need to stop thinking that way. Have I ever steered us wrong? Or besides that time? Or that other time? Look, I'm not asking you to speak for everyone, just for you. But first we must leave here. We'll split up and meet at our usual spot by the river. Let's see you there. I'll know you're with me and we can go convince the rest of our people together. And if you're not there, it's up to you. You have the journey to make up your mind.
Robin!
I will see you there.
Pretty sure of himself, isn't he?
Your mistress is attacked and you run and hide. Reveal your cowardly self. Marion,
Yes, my cowardly self.
but how?
When the attack began and my first guard fell, I took a sword and armor to defend what's mine. Tried to sneak around back, but was cut off by...
Who was it?
I think it was someone I knew as a child.
You can identify them.
No, I only saw the one, and I could be wrong. It was a long time ago.
It was a few minutes ago.
I meant my childhood.
Well, that was rather recent as well.
Your charm is better with better time.
Did you see the others?
No, they wore hoods, and one knocked me unconscious.
They assaulted you, a lady.
They didn't know I was a lady. Neither did you when you first arrived.
Well, are you all right now?
Yes, thank you. Though I'd be better if you helped me up.
Well, milady, they made off with everything. The wagon is bare. Even the jewels on the horses' riggings are gone.
Well, at least they left the wagon and horses.
I am humbled that I could not fend them off myself. They took your guards by surprise, and there were too many, even for me.
It's noble that you feel the need to protect me. It reminds me that under that very rough exterior is a heart capable of love that I've come to know and appreciate.
And reciprocate, one would hope.
Soon after we first met, you said that men who spent too much time on hook died from distraction.
I was quite the ruffian then.
Oh, my dear Guy Gisborne, you still are.
Well, with your permission, your ruffian will take you back to your castle and then set out after these criminals myself.
You'll do no such thing.
I see. What thing shall I do instead?
We were wronged by hooded outlaws of Sherwood. To whom should that be reported?
I will take this directly to the sheriff himself.
No. We will.
Enough of this! Stand aside so the better man can cross.
You're right. That's exactly what you should do.
The world must look different from up there. Okay? Stand right where you are and let me pass by. By the bright bow of St. Elfrido, I'll show you a good Nottingham move that involves an arrow between your ribs.
You dare to touch the string of that bow, and
I'll tan your hide until it's as many colors as a beggar's cloak.
You prattle like an ass. I could send an arrow clean through your proud heart before a Colonel Friar could say grace over a roast goose at Christmas.
You prattle like a coward, standing there with a bow to shoot at my heart while I have nothing but this plain staff to challenge you with.
I've been known by many names, apparently. But coward is not one of them. Fine. I will lay down my trusty bow and save my arrow for a more worthy target. If you dare to let me, I will go and cut a branch for myself to test your skill.
Go right ahead.
Whistle all you want. I will tan your hide.
What was that?
Nothing. Here's my staff, and here I come. If you dare, we will fight until one of us falls in the stream.
We know who that will be.
Yes, I do. Care to rest?
Not at all. Oh, but if you need to, go right ahead.
Oh, I don't need to. I just thought you did.
Oh, I don't.
To be clear, before, when I offered you a rest, I only thought to offer because I've never before seen someone who's such a hand with a quarterstaff.
Oh, I was thinking the same thing.
You were?
Yes, that you've never before seen anyone with such a hand with horseback.
Ah! Had enough?
If you have. You felt like a queen pin in a game of bowls. Where are you?
Oh, just in the flood and floating down with the tide.
Oh! The mighty river that little stream is.
I must admit, you're a brave and sturdy soul, and you have a good scout stroke with the staff.
Oh, nice alliteration.
Caught that.
Yes, I'm not so illiterate that I can't tell when your words are illiterate.
Oh,
You okay down there?
my head is humming like a hive of bees on a hot June day.
Oh, well, if you've had enough.
A tall one and a brave one. I reckon there's not a man from here to Canterbury Town that could have challenged me as you have.
And you take your cudgeling like a brave heart and a stout yeoman.
Thank you. But I recently learned it's better to give than to receive.
I was just reminded of the same thing.
I think you're about to get a different kind of reminder.
Is that right?
It is.
Glad you could make it.
We figured you'd run into some trouble.
And get out of it as well as usual.
Who's your friend?
Oh, this here is Will. He's a new recruit we found along the way.
Found along the way.
We were headed here to meet you, and all of a sudden, there he was.
He jumped you?
Actually, they were walking in the other direction.
Really?
We were taking a roundabout path so that no strangers could easily follow us to you and this hidden place.
I see. And then you brought a stranger to this hidden place.
We hadn't decided yet whether to accept your new terms.
Right. That's it.
And that bruise on your head came from you thinking so hard about it?
I stumbled.
Into the end of my quarterstaff.
There might have been a battle.
Oh, I see. And in victory, you brought the man you defeated with you?
This Will here took us for common thieves.
Only because you tried to rob me.
Oh, for the Lord's sake! I told you we don't need to cut the purse of every dandy we see strutting along the path like he owns it. Even if he walks right up to us like this one did. Some of us tried to rob this man and he fought back. His sword was no match for Alan's staff, though, so our new friend yanked a small tree right out of the ground and fought him.
With the usual results.
No one to talk.
Alan held him well, but Will's brute strength won the day. Then he told us he was actually traveling to find you. At that point, what else could we do? And here we are.
So, does that mean you decided to accept my new terms?
I have, and so have you.
Well, that's fine for you two, but I'm still thinking about it.
Well, that's something.
Oh, and who's your new friend?
All right. It's a very good question. Who are you?
Where I come from, they call me John Little.
Where you come from, they must have quite the sense of humor.
I don't like your name. I think we should christen you Little John.
Just stay still, you big ox.
Why should I? Why should I?
Robin, you brought a lot of characters into our merry band over the years, but this
Wait, everyone! My new friend, bottle your anger against my other new friend. The name suits you well. Besides, now that the women know you don't like it, they'll never stop using it.
he's right about that.
So come, let's prepare a feast to celebrate the christening of this fair infant.
Wait, don't we need to christen him first?
We are by the water.
I was just swimming in that stream. There's not enough water to dip his head into.
Why exactly were you fighting again?
He wouldn't let me cross the bridge.
Oh, and you couldn't just go around? This little stream isn't exactly the River Avon.
Stop talking. The ceremony's about to start.
Wait, where does he get?
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Little John, you have not lived until now.
I haven't?
You've got along well enough, but from now on, you will live like never before. You were called John Little before, but now that you'll truly live, you'll be called Little John for the rest of your days.
Hopefully they won't call you Little John for the rest of your night.
And so, I christen thee.
Ah,
What kind of holy water is that?
well, the kind you shouldn't waste by letting it fall to the ground. Now tip your head back and drink till it makes you fall back the rest of the way. Come, we have a feast to feast upon.
Wait! There's something about our other new friend here. What's your name?
His name is Will. They told us that before. Did I crack your skull too hard?
My name is Gamwell.
You lied to us?
He didn't. Gamwell's a family name. I have relatives by that name. Where are you from?
Maxfield Town, born and bred. From there, I set out to find my mother's younger brother, my uncle, who's commonly known as Robin of the Hood.
Oh, not Robin Hood?
No, never heard that one.
Will Gamwell! I should have known you by that dainty walk of yours. I wondered if you'd ever outgrow it. 10 years ago, this man was but a child. All big joints and dangly limbs. You remember how I taught you how to shoot a bow? You showed great promise. And also with the quarterstaff.
I always looked up to you above all other men. I promise, if I had known these were your men,
And women, Lord Almighty.
I never would have dared to lift a hand against them.
But weren't they robbing you?
Shut it, you.
I trust I didn't hurt you too much.
I'll survive.
His head will heal in a week. His pride is another matter.
So, nephew, why did you leave Sir Edward and your mother? I trust my sister as well?
Well, Sir Edward, my father, is a very patient man, slow to anger or to harsh words. One day his steward was berating him right in front of me. He wouldn't back down and my father wouldn't stop him, so I did. Slightly more than I intended.
How slightly.
Just one punch. They said I broke his neck.
I can believe it. Our family has a streak of unintended criminals. Regardless of what brought you here, Will, I'm glad to see you. You're certainly as qualified as any of us to live beyond the reach of the law while keeping good and justice in your heart. You bring great credit to our merry little band.
Thank you, Uncle. I will serve you well.
Oh, nobody serves me here.
Oh, that's right. We're all equals here. As long as we always do what he said.
There will be warrants out for you soon, if not already. You must change your name. We have a tradition here that our newest member is rechristened by our our previous newest member.
That wasn't the tradition 5 minutes ago.
Traditions have to start somewhere.
Good. Because of your sublime attire and your jaunty gait, from now on, you will be known as Will
Scarlayer.
Oh! Let me finish! You are likely to achieve fame, Will.
Scarlayer.
Many a merry ballad will be written about this country and Sherwood Forest. Oh, and if you're lucky, you.
No, but really, I must protest. To be named for all time isn't what I happen to wear today.
Frankly, Scarlet, I don't give a
And then we came straight here. Have you heard nothing I've said?
Yes, every word.
Sir, with respect, I am asking for your attention.
You were waylaid by woodland thieves and bested by them. They embarrassed you in front of your love, who managed to protect herself better than you did. By the way, very impressive, my lord.
These were no ordinary thieves. This was the Hood and his men.
And women.
Yes, there's already a 200-pound reward on his head for his original crime.
A mere 200 pounds for whatever small offense he committed.
He murdered one of my kinsmen. And then whined about self-defense.
Then you should want him as much as anyone.
My kinsman was a drunk and an irritant. The most amazing thing about this hooded fellow killing him is that someone hadn't beaten him to it. Since then, this hooded nuisance has hardly been worth my time or the reward for his petty theft and mild attempts at mayhem.
He took everything we had. He left us with nothing but the means to come here and tell you about it.
At least he left you the wagon and horses. I can see how she fared better in battle than you.
Lord, must you disgrace me in front of my lady?
You're doing a rather good job of that yourself.
I brought you here to seek help.
I was going to come here anyway.
You're upset by what happened. You should be, but don't malign me when it's your servants
Now
who
you
are
called my
incapable of
servants?
standing up to ruffians.
You were there too.
There were too many, even for me.
If I may say, and I'm the sheriff, so I may. The affairs between the two of you could not hold less interest for me. But if I cared, I would suggest that you tend to your overly impressive lady before she thinks about finding herself a new suitor.
That's what you're getting from this?
A fair point, my lady. She's thinking about it already.
Enough. Both of you. What use is either of you? Your chivalry is proving largely ineffectual. And your interest in justice seems to reach no further than the tip of your nose.
Remember, my lady, who you are and where you are.
You might want to take that advice yourself. Both of you.
Mind your words. I can have you removed.
Like everything else today, I'll take care of that myself.
Where are you going?
To find the man who took what I've lost instead of talking away every remaining moment before it's too
But
late.
my lady, it is obvious who did it.
Yes, it is. And yet neither of you seems interested in taking advantage of that knowledge.
Ah!
A rather genteel lady you're courting there.
More so than the last one.
What blinded her enough that her eye landed on you?
Whose side are you on?
In Nottingham, there is only one son.
Well, tell that to the Hood.
My eye is set on something far bigger than the Hood, or you.
But my lord, you are the sheriff. If you
You
want...
insist on continuing to waste my time. Instead, you have my sanction to waste your own time pursuing this whelp and his band of petty thieves. Send a thief to catch a thief.
Thank you, my lord. This former thief will represent you well.
Embarrass me again, and former is all you will be. Just dispatch it.
How many men will you provide?
One! His name is Guy of Gisborne.
Of course. For the humiliations he has caused me this day, this hooded leader of this band of upstarts will face the worst wrath ever seen in my former life. I will need no help.
You might not even need your own. Your Lady Marian has quite a head start on you.
Then, if you'll excuse me...
Keep your eye on her, or somebody else will.
I understand.
I doubt you do.
It will be good for this rogue cousin of yours to have one of his kin become a woman of the cloth.
One can hope.
Isn't there something in religion about having faith? I remember hearing that somewhere.
I'm glad to hear you were somewhere that people spoke about religion, my cousin. It's a start.
You know, the best thing about your appointment as the prioress of the Abbey of Kirklees is how far you'll be from the influence of our good friar here and his contagious sarcasm.
Oh, don't be too sure about that. The Lord works in mysterious ways.
Oh, God.
Oh, but in all seriousness, it's refreshing to see so much from your family. Our newest friar is here, has an interest in people's welfare, as genuine and as resolute as ever I've seen. And Robin, your service to those in need by both you and your men
And women! So I've heard.
has become the very survival of hundreds of families throughout the Shire.
Thank you, friar.
Thank you, Friar. Though I think your esteem for one of us might be misplaced.
They teach the newly ordained how to take vows, but not compliments.
Unlike the good friar here, I don't condone your methods. You are well intended, and you provide something that's unfortunately necessary for many people. Then again, perhaps it's as holy a life as one can expect from a group of people who are wanted criminals.
Sounds like some want us more than others.
Robin, don't think too badly of your cousin, just because she thinks badly of you. The newly ordained often hold a stricter, more literal view. Once they gain more experience in the world, they can better recognize the lesser of evils when they see it.
Always ready with a compliment, aren't you?
Friar, the ends don't justify his means. Hopefully my work at Kirklees will remove the need for Robin and his colleagues.
Of course. Helping others is the goal of every abbey. But these things take time. The Tower of London wasn't built in a day, you know.
My people are good. They're only called outlaws because someone is misusing the law for their own advantage. Once I showed them they could help others without harming themselves, it became a mission to every one of them. Think what you want of me, cousin, but not my people.
You care greatly for your people.
I would die for any of them.
Indeed. You have given me much to consider on my trip to the Abbey. Friar, we must set out while we have the light.
Of course. Eager to get started, this one is. Oh, to be newly ordained. Farewell, Robin, leader of your merry band. Keep your eyes open. Strange times are brewing. I hope we can weather them till we have time to share another brew together.
So do I. And good luck in your station, cousin. I'm sure you will do well in representing the cloth and your kin. I wonder if she'll ever accept me. But I don't need her to. As criminals go, I could be a lot worse. It's not like I'm some two-faced former criminal with a selfish intention and surly demeanor, sneaking up on people in the forest just to kill them. Hello, friend. Who are you? Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. By the way, what is that you're wearing? I swear, I've never seen anything like it in all my life. If I'd done some evil or if my conscience troubled me, I'd be afraid of you. After all, you could be here from the dark world below, bringing me a message ordering me to come straight down to King Nicholas. Now we're getting somewhere.
Your name!
He speaks after all! Welcome to the conversation. I'm sorry, but I'm saving my name for the right maiden someday. You're not my type.
I'll have your name.
Did you dine on vinegar and nettles this morning, or do you always talk like this?
If you don't like my words, I suggest you turn and run.
I really think I'd fall for exposing my flank to you like that. You didn't just fall off a turnip cart. But I like that we're finally talking. You're one of the wittiest conversations I've met in all my years.
Your name!
Look, I'm glad to hear you speak. I was afraid you were struck speechless by the sight of me. It happens. As for my name, it appears I go by several. It might be less confusing if you tell me yours, and while you're at it, what your horse did to you that you now wear it like that.
By the bones of the demon Odin, you are the boldest speaking man I've ever seen in all my life.
Thank you.
I once skewered a man over in Nottingham Town for saying less than half as much as you have now.
Oh, so that wasn't a compliment.
I wear this to keep warm! You fool! Having a certificate of sword thrust is as good as a gun of steel.
Thanks for the tip.
My name is Guy of Gisborne, and you may have heard it before. I come from the woodlands in Herefordshire, and I'm here to collect my 200 pounds.
It's tough to tell through your, horse, but I suspect you have 200 pounds already. All muscle, I wager.
The sheriff has placed a price on the head of an outlaw. I'm here to collect him so I can collect it.
What's in it for the outlaw?
I have something for him. Let me show you!
I have heard the name Guy of Gisborne. He is an outlaw.
Was an outlaw. The sheriff pardoned me long ago. I need an honest life now.
Is that why he sent you after this outlaw?
The sheriff said, send a thief to catch me, while I'm no longer an outlaw. I know how one thinks!
I've heard of your past deeds. I reckon there's no one in all the world this outlaw would rather meet.
If a stout outlaw like Robin of the Hood were to meet a stout former outlaw like Guy of Gisborne, it would not be a happy ending for the Hood. The day he meets Guy of Gisborne, he will die! Oh!
So you're also a soothsayer?
It is no sooth, it is a certainty. Some call him a great archer, but I would stand against him bow in hand any day of the year.
No chance Robin Hood is the better man? I know him well, and many think he's one of the stoutest men around.
If we're in these parts, perhaps. But this sty of yours is not the whole world. Besides, I hear he has never even drawn blood except when he first became an outlaw. Word is, he lost a battle to a friar, and he spends his day robbing defenseless women who are nearly his equal with a sword.
Perhaps you should seek instruction from these women yourself. Allow me to say, on behalf of your prey, that you'll have to seek your bounty elsewhere. Oh, and rest assured, he will consider your challenge.
What are you doing here?
I found neither hide nor hair of the man, but I figured you eventually would.
I told you I could handle this myself.
You also told me that I could not accompany you. Apparently neither was true.
Well, if you're here to help, at what point are you going to help me?
Help an outlaw? When were you going to tell me about that?
A former outlaw. One who no longer leads the life he did before.
Except when there's a sizable reward involved?
I merely seek to restore what was taken from you.
Then take it from him and not from the sheriff's reward.
He probably doesn't have it anymore. He takes what he steals and gives it to the poor.
That's nothing but a folk tale.
No, it's true. I've seen the people of this shire newly healthy and relatively wealthy since the Hood started his crusade. There is no other explanation.
So you're not in it for the reward. Just revenge for what he did to me?
Of course.
I'm not interested in you killing a folk hero in my name.
Then I will do it to avenge his humiliating me in front of you. Perhaps killing him won't be necessary. The coward flees once he learns he's hunted by the likes of me. I'm sure the hood will turn and run once he hears of this encounter from that man.
I'm sure he already knows.
How is that possible?
He was the man you fought, you fool.
That was
Robin of the Hood. You're lucky you didn't fall at the tip of his sword the way you did at the tip of his tongue.
lady.
Who is the better man? The reformed outlaw intent to carry out injustice in the name of the law? Or the current outlaw committing crimes only to help those left poor by the law?
Lady,
What?
while you debate the relative merits of the man who robbed you and the man trying to get it back for you, in the name of the Lord, can you please help me up?
Of course.
How have you been so successful at stealing with no sense of stealth?
Why should I seek it? Because this is the sheriff's treasury. When you said you needed all of us because of how dangerous this would be, did it occur to you that coming here might be dangerous?
Why are we here, anyway?
The sheriff sent a ruffian to collect me. Since I brought me here, we're going to collect the 200-pound reward. With interest. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Where are you going? We have work to do.
You have your work to do and I have mine. I need to see a man about a horse.
What are you...
Don't wait up for me.
Where are you going?
Well, Robin.
You don't even know what he's going to do.
Well, but neither does he half the time, but that doesn't stop him.
Well, that's why you need my help.
We need your help here, now.
Where Robin left you.
But how are we gonna get all this stuff out of here? We didn't bring a pack horse.
I told you he'd be useful. We'll see if he drops anything when we leave.
Don't listen to them. Don't pay any attention. They like to give us a hard time. It's a sign of affection.
Shouldn't a minstrel be able to read something as simple as a sign?
Well, whose side are you on, anyway?
Oh, considering we don't know him very well yet, and he's holding everything for us, let's make sure he stays on our side. Where you from anyway, John?
They don't talk about where I'm from.
Ooh, mysterious. You don't want to tell us.
You want me to make something up?
If you don't, you'll have to make up for it later.
So, What's your story?
I'm robbing the sheriff's treasury with a few friends.
No, I mean...
I know what you mean. I was involved with a shepherd who thought I drowned in the river, but in reality, I was abducted by a witch. So her son could have me. Robin and his men and women rescued me, and here I am.
If you didn't want to tell me, you could have just said so.
Well, it's actually...
Witches, drownings, fake abductions. Do you think I was born yesterday?
Of course not.
That's right.
You were with us yesterday.
Gee, I wonder who that could be.
What's the big deal? Someone's riding away on a horse.
What color is it?
Black.
Sheriff's horse.
You know what color the sheriff's horse is?
You don't? Who's riding it?
Robin!
How can you tell from here?
Who else would it be? Oh no, we've got to get out of here.
Why?
Robin is leading the guards away so we can escape.
Or he just wanted to make a statement by stealing the sheriff's horse.
Well, give him a little credit. Maybe Robin was being clever.
We'll escape now. Discuss later.
One job. You have one job.
Don't even say a word.
I apologize.
For what? Saying a word? For failing to defeat the petty nuisance that is Robin of the Hood several times now? Or for embarrassing me with all your failures?
All of those, I suppose.
All of those. You were better at serving the law when you were an outlaw.
Sir, I am
If you
not-
could have succeeded just one time, we wouldn't be where we are now.
And where is that exactly?
While you were bumbling about, my treasury was robbed. My treasury!
But that could have been anyone.
By hooded men.
And women.
Oh, shut up!
How much did they take?
4 months' worth of taxes collected from throughout the shire.
Don't take it personally. It is their business after all, my lord. They steal from the rich and give to the poor.
And my horse.
Oh, that does sound personal.
Now it is personal. Every day it becomes more problematical to allow unrest throughout the shire. My plan depends on order.
Your plan?
This hooded cretin is a hero to the people. If we brutalize him or the innocent kin of his guilty comrades, we'll create martyrs. Mobilize the people against me at the worst possible time.
So what will you do?
Something more clever. I will draw him in and humiliate him.
And leave him alive?
A leader without any followers is no longer a leader. The only way to defeat a hero is to show that he's no hero after all.
How?
By providing him with an inescapable opportunity to humiliate himself and reveal the fraud that he is.
But, my lord, he is no fraud. He does what he says he does. He helps people.
If I say he's a fraud, loudly and often enough, people will believe he's a fraud. Common men can't be bothered with facts. They'll believe what they are told are facts and will listen to whoever speaks the loudest. The hood in disgrace is far more useful than the hood at the tip of your sword.
This is to be my revenge.
And yours?
Today I rule a shire. Soon, any shire will be but a speck of dust in my realm. But first, we have to eliminate the influence of this annoying outlaw.
Do I play a role in your plan?
Certainly. Upon your very life, I swear, you are central.
How will you lure him in? What is the trap?
How are you with an arrow and a bow?
Robin and his band found me in the forest, downtrodden in the desert. And Robin asked me why. Well, I told them that I'd come from York to the Vale of Rother and sung for Franklin and the maiden. The maiden entranced me as much as I enchanted her with my singing.
And with his humility.
The maiden and I broke a sixpence in half, and we each wore half of it around our neck. And then her father discovered me. He pushed her away from me, and just 6 weeks later, I heard she was to marry Sir Stephen Trent.
My father wanted me to marry someone of standing.
And her father couldn't stand me.
Sir Stephen wanted to be with me, but it was not mutual.
Robin and his men, and the women, Irene was already part of them, were so moved by my story that they set out to help me. The wedding was in just 2 weeks, just 2 days actually, and Robin took my hand and he said,
I swear by the bright hair of Saint Elfrida, in 2 days, Eleanor Dale will be your wife. There's revelry without me? There ought to be a law.
Oh, if there were, we'd break that one too. 2 days to break up a wedding, that's a pretty tall task.
Oh, you would have been perfect for it.
It all revolved around the man who was to perform the ceremony.
Was it Friar Tuck?
No.
Has anyone seen him lately?
The good friar must be discreet with his coming and going. If anyone were to know of his counseling us.
Right, of course.
Anyway, in this instance, I promised Eleanor Dale I'd appeal to the soft side of this bishop. Even if I had to pummel his side until it was soft.
You spoke that way about a man of the cloth.
Better to speak that way than to do to him what I described.
Robin's trying to impress you. He wouldn't have hit a bishop.
Hey, Ellen.
May Ellen what?
Oh, no. That's her name. May Ellen. Oh, I even wrote a song about her with May Ellen as her name.
Oh, no, not the song.
Oh, you like the song?
Oh, of course I do, dear, but you're in the middle of a story.
Well, the song tells part of the story.
I know.
The song is but Prince Robin asking me to join his men.
Was it?
John, ever write a song for a lady? At first, she can't hear it enough. And eventually, you never hear the end of it. On with the story. It's the day of the wedding.
That story again?
What do you know about this?
You told me last week when you were blazingly inebriated.
Alan Adale, you...
I don't remember this at all.
I can prove it. Let me help.
All right. Well, on the day of their intended wedding, Robin posed as a musician for the ceremony.
Robin's a musician?
Not to speak of.
Hey!
Fortunately, we never had to find that out.
Oh, and now she is telling the story.
Robin found the bishop outside the ceremony.
Who are you?
I'm a harper from the North Country, one who plays the strings like nobody in all of England.
Sure you do.
It's true, good Lord Bishop. Many a knight and burgher, clerk and layman have danced to my music, often against their will. My heartring is so magical. If you let me play this wedding, I promise I will make the bride love the men she marries with a love that will last as long as they live together.
Ha! This maiden has bewitched my poor cousin Stephen with no love of her own. If you can cause her to love the man she marries today, I will give you whatever you ask of me.
It's a deal.
Now, let me hear a taste of your skill.
Not until the bride and bridegroom come.
Why don't you play?
Oh, I will play better than you think, but not until the right moment.
The bishop looked like he wanted Robin whipped after the ceremony. But then, just as the bishop starts to recite,
Let me look at this lass.
why,
Oh no! What have we here? Your cheeks are white as lilies, not pink like roses as befit a happy bride.
They look flush red to me.
He's talking about her at the wedding.
This is no fit wedding. You, Sir Stephen, are so old, and she is so young. I tell you it cannot be. You aren't even her own true love.
Robin blew his horn, not very musically, and several of his men suddenly appeared. Sir Stephen cried, "Down with the villains!"
Down with the villains!
But then he realized he was unarmed, as were most of his guests. A wedding, after all. Then the door burst in, followed by Alan, leading 18 more of Robin's band.
Yeah!
Then my father stepped forward.
Is it you, Alan Adale, who brought all this chaos to a church?
No, I have. And I don't care who knows it, for my name is Robin Hood. Really? Never heard that?
Heaven keep us this day from that evil man!
No, I mean you no harm. But here is Ellen's betrothed, and she will marry him here instead, or there will be unholy acts in this church today.
No! I am her father. She will marry Sir Stephen and none other.
Then Sir Stephen stepped in.
No, sir! You may take your daughter back. After today's doings, I wouldn't marry her with all of the money for myself. I love your daughter, old as I am. Oh, decrepit. One hand knocking on bed.
Stick to what he actually said.
And I would have taken her up like a jewel from the sky. But if you'd rather choose a beggarly minstrel over a high-born knight, take your choice, and I will leave you.
He was so chivalrous. Are you sure you made the right choice?
The heart wants what the heart wants.
That's not a yes.
I too have no business here.
Stay, good Lord Bishop. You must perform the ceremony, and also your promise.
What promise?
I wagered that my playing would make the maiden love the man she marries today. I have played my play. She loves her husband, which she would not if not for me. So, what I ask is for that golden chain around your neck, as a wedding present to this fair bride.
We called it a bow and arrow wedding.
And then we were married.
And still are.
And she's the luckiest person in the land.
Well, except for him, of course.
Robin, before I forget, I bring you news from the Shire.
Tell me your news before it gets old.
There's to be a great fair in Nottinghamshire on the fortnight.
Fortnight?
In 2 weeks.
Why didn't you just say that?
How nice. I trust everyone will have a good time. Perhaps we can find an empty castle with a full treasury begging to be redistributed.
That's not why I mentioned it.
What interest do I have in a fair?
Not the fair itself, but the main event, an archery contest.
Well, then I definitely can't attend.
Why?
Because if I attend, it'll be no contest at all.
Oh, Robin just threw down the gauntlet.
Will there be a gauntlet?
Not that I know of.
They should combine the archery contest with running the gauntlet. That'd be a challenge even for you.
What's this I hear about Beauregard fellow running through an arch uncontested?
We've been drinking for over an hour, and the friar shows up more sauce than any of us.
Never mind then, Robin. I come with news from the Shire.
Does it involve an archery contest at a fair in a fortnight?
No, it involves an archer. Why, yes! How do you know?
Someone beat you to it.
What? Well, bless me. I couldn't possibly see young Master William Damwell in such company as this.
I'm Will Scarlet now, and I'm in the company of my uncle.
Uncle?
Uncle.
Well, bless me. But tell me, Will Scarlet, how is it you now live in Sherwood?
You didn't hear what happened between myself and my father's steward?
Well, yes, but I didn't know you were in hiding for it. Oh, the world has truly gone awry when gentlemen must go into hiding for such a thing.
Such a thing? Killing a man with one punch is no small thing.
You're very helpful, Uncle.
Yeah, I met the steward. He was less deserving of the Lord's mercy than even you ruffians. But let's not belabor the point.
Yes, what point were we at?
Robin, I came to encourage you to enroll in the archery contest.
I came for the same reason.
Well, you should do it, Robin. It's obvious you want to.
But shouldn't we instead take advantage of the empty castles to resupply our noble reapportioning activities?
Sure. Or you could kidnap, fire off a few shots, win 50 pounds, a quiver of gold-tipped arrows.
And give it away at the end of the day so you can enjoy it.
Irene, you've known me the longest. Do you think I should?
Why are you asking her?
In my experience, one woman has the sense of 10 men.
Spoken like a man who's never been married.
Spoken by a man who soon might not be.
Robin, I've known you for a very long time. Even longer than Alan and Ellen, longer than most of our band. We've been through as much as anyone here has together. And with that in mind, I have no problem saying there'll still be plenty of people to rob and help afterward. Live a little.
Don't worry, Robin.
Wait. Robin has a price on his head. He can't just go to the fair and participate in the...
You mean claim victory?
Sure. Participate in the main event. He'll be arrested on the spot.
Well, it's not like many people will recognize him.
Besides, I heard that the sheriff is declaring amnesty for the day of the fair. Something about unifying the Shire.
Oh, sounds like he's up to something.
Well, there's just one way to find out.
Actually, there's more than one way.
Shut it, you.
All right. I'll think about it.
What do you think, Robin?
The day of the fair. All of Nottingham arrives for games and good time. And then there's the main event, the archery contest. The winner receives 50 pounds, a silver bugle horn inlaid with gold, and a quiver of 10 white arrows tipped with gold and feathers from a white swan's wing. But today, the stakes are much higher than these valuable trinkets.
Why, bless me. I didn't expect to see you here.
I've come to the fair since I was a girl. I wouldn't miss it. What's your function
Well,
here?
I'm one of the judges for the various contests when one is needed.
They couldn't find an honest man, so they settled for him.
Forgive me, but should we be seen with outlaws? Relax, dear. People would only recognize us if we were wearing our hoods. Still, discretion.
All right, we know when we're not wanted. We can watch from over here.
I don't mean to.
It's okay. You're right. We don't want to cause the fire any trouble. Of course, we'll just give him a hard time about it later anyway.
I'm glad you're here, milady.
You knew I would be.
I can still be pleased about it.
Yes, of course. I apologize. I've been distracted lately.
It's been a difficult time for both of us.
How has it been difficult for you?
Difficult time for you? It's a difficult time for me, milady.
That's very considerate. I wish you luck in the competition.
Thank you. You!
Oh, no! Stop!
Marion? Is that you?
It is.
It's good to see you.
Is it?
It's been a long time.
Well, not so long, really.
Lady, this is the man who robbed you.
I'm well aware of that.
Wait, what? When?
You and some of your people attacked our wagon. Took everything. Away from the fray, you fought with the guard who nearly defeated you until your reinforcements arrived.
That was your wagon? The guard was this guy?
You're half right.
You were the guard.
I was.
No. But that would mean
You were almost defeated by a woman!
the day is young, she might finish the job.
I beg your pardon.
You were very good.
I was better than you.
I didn't want her a woman.
You knew I was a woman.
On some level, I must have sensed it.
Get off of us! Milady, if you'll excuse me, I have a contest to win.
You're in a competition before the archery contest. mistake he'll make this hour.
Did you come over merely to insult my consort?
No. But now that I know what my men and I did to you, I must ask for your pardon.
How have I earned the privilege of pardoning you?
By me affronting you in multiple ways.
Such as?
If I'd have known you were you, my men and I would never have robbed you.
I see. And how did you end up with people? The Robin I knew as a child was more likely to be led astray than to lead anyone.
I never set out to lead. But in this world of outlaws that aren't criminals, people need each other.
And from you they found direction? Common purpose?
Yes.
Tell me, did everything you take from me go to the poor?
Everything, yes.
Proceed to morbid. What else have you done that requires pardoning?
I doubt there's time for a complete list.
It's hard to believe what you've become.
Please believe it nonetheless. People so often have the wrong idea about me.
I'll consider it. Take care with your aim. I have a lot riding on who will win.
Did you bet for me or against me?
I'm still deciding.
Either way, I will do my best. If I fail, I vow never to draw another bowstring again.
That's a rather audacious claim. Even Guy of Gisborne has not yet found the limit to his ability.
I will help you find it in a moment.
Too bad you aren't more confident.
Today is the dawn of a new era. No longer will we be divided, living in hate and fear. As we revel in our traditional games, I have decreed that all are welcome here. Whether you come from the convent or crime, from piety or poverty, all are free and equal here today. Once and for all, I will unify the Shire. All archers to the line. You will get 3 shots apiece. The best of all decides the prize. May the best among you be the winner. Ready? Take aim. Fire. Fire. Fire.
What? It's a tie!
Impossible.
How can that be? All 3 of Robin's arrows are clustered dead center of his target.
So a guy of Gisborne's. The targets on both are indistinguishable.
Perhaps you should check again, Fry. Your sacramental wine has impaired your judgment.
If it's a tie, it's a tie. This is also a sport of consistency and endurance. You two will continue to shoot until one of you falters.
Think you can keep up with me, forest dweller?
We of Nottinghamshire are famous hands with the longbow. Even I have modest talent with a bow, not afraid of a title bout with you.
Ha! You are not modest.
Thank you, I didn't want to boast right before your downfall.
You are brave. To speak to me that way as few have dared. Pick up your bow.
What, and shoot at a target again? No, that only got us to where we are now. No, I will put up a good Nottingham mark to aim for. There! Split that branch in half at the point I marked.
The devil himself couldn't hit such a mark.
We won't know until you try. Close one. Good practice shot. Now that you're loose, take your real shot. You're right. I see now that the devil himself couldn't hit that mark.
Let's see you do it.
What?
Let's see you split the twig with an arrow.
Of course, good lady. I'll show you the difference between the devil you know and me.
Gentlemen,
You're no better with a broadsword than you are with a bow and arrow. You'll never overcome Robin Hood.
be careful how free you are with your tongue, or this time I will cut it off for you! Gentlemen, this is fair! Jared! A lady's present!
We've seen how little you know of the sports of combat. Take a nice look at me.
Please!
Consider yourself under arrest.
On what charge?
For murder, of course.
I acted in self-defense.
Again with self-defense. You told him to take a last look at daylight. Your intent was clear.
We were already in the heat of battle. He was intent to kill me.
All I saw was a friendly competition until your cowardly attack. You'll be taken away until you're found guilty and executed for your crime.
Not if we have any say in it.
No! Too much blood has already been spilled today. I will go with them. Justice will ultimately prevail.
Justice has prevailed. I gave the outlaw a chance and was betrayed. This two-time cold-blooded murderer's first victim was my own kinsman, whose innocent blood was spilled long ago, much like Guy of Gisborne's this day. Robin of the Hood victimized them as he victimizes his followers, leading them to petty theft. But today you need fear no more. From Nottingham to Sherwood, I am the law. You are all witnesses to the end of Robin of the Hood. And this is the first of many great changes I will bring to you and to all England.
You who were so serious before. You gave yourself up for a bit of innocent laughter, and you enjoyed some laughter that harmed no one. Well, except for the guy of Gisborne, I suppose. But you see good, sober folk of real history being frisky and capricious, and some whose names you never knew. You've seen how these folks really met. Well, at least closer to what's real than most have told. And now you will see what befell them. Here is a country that has entered some despair. Even those who didn't benefit from Robin of the Hood now live in fear. For if the sheriff could capture the hero of the poor, an honest man, despite his situation, then he could do anything to anyone. And what in the heart of Marion? Will the death of her consort draw on her heartstrings, or will it free her soul to find truer love with someone from her past?
Must you always talk like you're narrating a bloody story?
Well, what else is a minstrel to do?
Sing songs.
Oh, well, I can't really do that anymore.
Some would say he never could.
Won over my wife.
Why can't you sing anymore? Cat got your tongue, frog in your throat, dog eat your lyre.
If you must know, my lute was stolen.
Oh, an act of charity greater than any of us have ever done.
One day, when we were all out doing our usual thing, someone came into the camp and stole my lute.
Wait, so you're saying your
Lute was looted? Yes.
What else did they take?
Nothing.
No other personal possessions, none of the spoils you'd stolen?
We figure whoever the thief was, he...
Or she.
Must have heard something, got spooked and run.
So, your loot was looted, and they left all your loot behind? Regardless, minstrels are required to prattle on through half of the Crusades.
Fine.
See what he's doing, don't you?
Daft, I see what he's doing. Just like I saw what the friar was doing at the archery contest.
That again!
I'm telling you, Robin was set up.
I was better off following the Dale's pathway.
Think about it. Friar Tuck has been working both sides the whole time, hasn't he?
Yeah, so he could help us.
Or maybe it was all a setup. He comes here all of a sudden with word of this archery contest. Robin shows up, as anyone would predict, and ends up in prison. The friar was sent here to make sure that Robin took the bait and fell into the trap. And Robin figured it out in the end. Did you see the way he glared at the friar as they took him away? And the friar couldn't even look him in the eye.
Oh, I'll be betrayed by a man of the cloth. Oh, me.
Maybe that's why the friar got Robin giving away everything he'd stolen in the first place. Sure, it helps the poor, but it also kept Robin from getting too powerful.
He would have become a threat to the sheriff.
Exactly. What?
I hate to point this out, but you just described yourself as well.
What? What are you talking about? He's on our side. He just figured out how the friar helped to set up Rock.
Will came just before the fire, and he told us of the archery contest, too.
I had heard about it in town.
You mean the sheriff's town? Where he offered you something in exchange for betraying Robin? Like a pardon for murdering your father's steward?
That's outrageous!
Is it any more outrageous than what you just said about the fire? You could be accusing him to distract us from you.
Yeah! Nice try, Scarlet. Slandering a man of God just to protect yourself. You'll burn for that one.
I didn't do it. Robin and I are kinsmen.
Yeah, if the friar were here, he'd say the same thing.
Actually, the fire wouldn't say that he and Robin were kinsmen.
What? Oh, right. If the friar were here, he'd say the first part of the same thing.
But he isn't here. And when's the last time anyone saw him anyway?
You dare to slander a man of God just to protect yourself!
Oh, for God's sake!
Enough! Alan-a-Dale, if you don't stop fighting this instant! Did I ask you who started it?
He's giving you excellent practice for raising children. John Little, you pick on someone your own size.
There is no one my size.
Now you're getting it.
What's this all about anyway?
We'll figure it out how the friar betrayed Robin.
I pointed out that it's just as likely that Will betrayed Robin in the same manner.
What, because they happened to bring news of the archery contest and that's where Robin got nabbed?
Yeah!
Did it ever occur to you that they were both just bringing news they heard and had nothing to do with the sheriff's trap?
No.
The sheriff obviously knew this person would get provoked to go after Robin, and Robin would have to defend himself. If Robin lost the fight, problem solved. If Robin won, he'd be captured in disgrace. Either way, the sheriff wins.
Well, how did you figure all that out?
While you boys were over here exercising your muscles, we were over there exercising our minds.
So maybe we were both wrong.
I know you are.
But you think Robin might have been betrayed?
It's possible.
Well, then what did we do?
With Robin in jail, the sheriff would want us to fall apart. You're doing exactly what he wants. We need to stay strong, stay together.
What if Robin was betrayed by somebody? Then we're letting him get away with it and keeping him in our midst.
Do you know who it is?
I sure do. It's Will! Or the friar!
My point exactly. We'll keep an eye on them both. If the friar ran afoul, we'll defrock him like no one ever has been. And if this one turns out rotten, he will be covered in a red that has nothing to do with his scarlet clothes.
So what do we do until then? Sit and stare and wait for a sign?
We make sure we're ready for when the moment comes. And we don't give the sheriff the satisfaction of splitting us up. Agreed?
Agreed. But what if Robin was betrayed by someone
Oh,
like...
shut it, you big ox.
What could you possibly want that merits this intrusion?
You wanted to see me, or so I was told.
Yes, of course. My apologies, milady. All day and night I am bombarded with people wanting this or that from me. You are a most welcome exception at any time.
You flatter me, sir. But not at the most appropriate of times.
Too early in the day?
Too early after the untimely demise of my consort.
Yes. I'd like to say I'm sorry for your loss.
But you won't say it.
You read me all too well. It's hardly a surprise that you would understand me.
This is hardly the time.
Oh, but it is. Your interest in Guy of Gisborne was waning, as well it should have. It was inevitable. It was obvious that someone else was catching your eye. Someone who had only recently entered your life and had shown you that you could do better.
I would not presume to disagree.
You are wise.
I would also not presume to take any more of your time.
No, milady, stay. You don't yet know why I wanted to see you.
Now I think I do.
Oh, but there is so much more.
What more could there be, good sheriff?
There could be so much more for you. If you were with someone on the rise, someone who could elevate you with it.
And that someone is you.
I have great plans, milady.
So I've noticed.
Greater even than winning your hand, if you'll excuse me saying so. I'll soon be far more than sheriff of the Shire. And if you can find room in your heart, you can be with me.
How much room do you expect is available from recent events?
I expect nothing more than what you have to give. But you might find more room once you realize the station, power, and security that a union with me would bring.
And in time I might grow to love you for granting these to me?
That is up to you.
And I always thought romantic love was supposed to be part of the picture.
No, you didn't. If you did, you never would have been with Guy of Gisborne.
But what is this grand scheme of yours that is even greater than my company?
It's already underway. It might be the one last thing that will persuade you. My power is about to grow. More than grow. I'll soon be far more than sheriff of this shire.
Sounds intriguing.
The king is setting out to war again. Prince John seeks to take the throne during his brother's absence abroad. With my help, he will achieve it.
With your help.
I have assembled an army. I will lead them past Kirklees and overtake the king's lines from behind. Before they know what hit them, they'll be wiped out, and the throne will be Prince John's.
Isn't that treason?
Once the new king is in place, he won't consider it treasonous to have helped him get there. One man's treason is another man's revolution, and the reward for my service will be exceptional. More than anything your acquaintance from Sherwood could steal, even if he wasn't rotting in my prison.
You've given me a lot to think about.
About that, my men and I set out in a fortnight.
Fortnight?
It's 2 weeks.
I know what it means.
If you're to be part of this brave new world with me, we must make it official before then.
I see. I shall think about it quickly then.
Good! As advantageous as you'll find life by my side, if you don't accept my generous offer, your lack of station, power, and security might be equally detrimental to you.
Seems an offer I can't refuse.
I thought you would see it that way.
Have you not heard one word I've said?
No. I mean, yes. I Have you heard me?
Robin, your cousin came all the way from Kirklees to counsel you.
I know, and I do appreciate it, truly.
Robin, we are kin. I care about what happens to you, to our entire family, and yes, even to your band of outlaws.
So-called outlaws.
As you wish. I understand what's led you to where you are, and I don't just mean sitting in this cell. In my short time at the Abbey, I've seen that the law doesn't always provide justice for everyone. Some who are trusted to enforce it take advantage of their positions, and
Not all of them, just a few.
of course. I've also seen that there's a difference between taking care of people and taking the law into your own hands. You're very brave with your own life. You need to consider the consequences for those in your life. Your men and women, your kin, their families. When someone decides you're an enemy, all of us are put at risk.
Isn't that a bit selfish of you, cousin? Concerned only what my actions might do to you?
I'm not here for me. Between your band and their families and all those my Abbey serves, there are hundreds. I'm just one.
Friar, this one turned out pretty good after all.
So far, so good.
Perhaps we have something in common after all. You will do whatever it takes to protect your people.
Yes, I will.
So will I. I hope to see you soon, cousin. Under better circumstances. Friar?
Friars. So, how are the accommodations?
Soon to be left behind. What's the plan?
What plan?
Get me out.
Oh, that plan.
Well,
There is no plan.
excuse me.
I have no plan.
Then what are you doing here?
Visiting you, bringing you comfort.
Comfort will be bringing me a plan. What have you all been doing all this time?
I haven't seen anyone since the fair. For all I know, they're going to break you out of here 5 seconds from now.
How can you come here without a plan? It's your fault I'm in here.
My fault.
Oh, give to the poor, Robin. Go have a good time at the fair.
I'm just a guide. You make your own choices.
You take no responsibility for your guidance. It's just frivolous words and biblical quotes between sips of ale. I mean, nothing after you've spoken of.
You make your own choices. But your cousin is right. You need to consider the consequences. Because sometimes they happen. Like now. But you're not mad at me.
Guy of Gisborne was the first man I killed since the sheriff's king. Both times, self-defense. The first made me an outlaw, the second a prisoner.
Have you
The
made...
sheriff sent him against me. In a way, I feel bad for the man. Guy of Gisborne didn't even realize he was being used. Where are you going?
Your compassion is intact. My work here is done.
What can we do about the sheriff? He didn't want his own hands dirty, so he set up the entire episode. He had to know I would win the contest. He had to know the man's anger would drive him to attack me. He can't get away with this.
Robin of the Hood, there is hope for you after all.
Still just hope.
You once said you would die for your people.
It's like I'm about to.
Yeah, the night is young. Dying for people is noble. But what about something less tangible? What about dying for something bigger than your people?
Nothing is bigger than my people.
Ah, not yet. But you'll know it when you see it. A cause, a purpose, a larger purpose than saving a few lives.
I'll let you know when I see it.
Oh, Robin, this is not the end of your story. Fate will find you.
I'm easy to find at the moment.
I'll let it know.
Thank you, Friar. Raise a mug of ale to my fate, whatever it might be.
Another one, if you insist.
Fate will find you. There's hope for you after all. childhood crushes if you broke... Wait, you're breaking me out?
If you don't lower your voice, I might be joining you in there.
That's not the worst idea I've heard all day.
And to think, after hearing your conversation with the prioress and friar, I thought for a moment you were respectable.
It's a sin to eavesdrop on one's private discussion with the clergy.
Your cell might be the size of a confessional, but this is no church.
So, what brings you here?
The archery contest.
Me too.
And that's what happened there.
Marion, I'm sorry that I killed your... I don't actually know what he was to you.
I thought I knew. But with more time, I found I knew him less. Then you came back into my life, different than the Robin I once knew.
That's understandable. A lot's happened since we were children.
Everything lately has just been so...
Yes? Any suggestions?
A key?
Of course, I mean any suggestions involving anything within reach.
I'm sorry, I can't. I wish I could. You're free now. Sorry to say, more free than I am. The prioress is right about consequences.
What? Why are you leaving? Why am I not leaving?
That place is huge. Are we sure about this? You want to stay behind? Stay behind. We're breaking Robin out of there.
All right. All right. How many times have you broken someone out of this prison?
We've tried breaking people out of Nottingham's prison 8 times.
Oh, okay.
Wait, did you say tried? How many times have you succeeded?
Great! Why didn't you tell us that before?
Would you have come?
No!
There you go.
What happened to the people who tried before?
Well, we don't know. They're still in there.
How many times were you the one who planned it?
None. There, you see, it's a totally different plan.
Well, it could be the same plan. We have no idea.
Not helping.
Look! We're here. We're doing this. It's Robin. He'd do it for any of us.
If that were true, he would have tried to rescue the others before, and he'd be in the prison.
He is in the prison.
Not for rescuing anyone.
Look, if we focus on the plan, we'll be fine.
Okay. Right. It's Robin. Let's do this.
Right. Now, does everyone remember what they're doing?
What's my part again?
Oh, for God's sake, let's just go through it all again.
Okay, I'm no expert, but I believe an important rule in prison breaks is to not make noise.
But nobody's ever been broken out of that prison before.
And that streak is still intact. I got out on my own.
How?
Marion got me out.
Of course.
You're up.
So, Robin, about Marion?
Oh, yeah. I think she and I have a real chance. A connection that's never felt stronger than it did in there just now.
She's getting married.
What? Who?
The sheriff?
I need to sit down.
We'll keep it together, will you? There could be people watching.
Speaking of which, isn't this supposed to be a prison break? Shouldn't we perhaps be doing this, not here?
But why?
So we don't get caught.
No, I mean, why would she marry
gave her no choice.
Everybody has a choice.
The sheriff is apparently up to something much bigger.
What?
Marion told us everything, at least as much as she knows. We'll tell you.
Someplace else. Prison break? Anyone?
Right, break's over, let's go.
Okay, but we have to stop the wedding.
We will. We have a plan for that.
Oh, it's better than our plan to get him out of prison.
He's out, isn't he?
Not for long, unless we go.
Yes, but what about the...
Friar? How could you?
I'm sorry, milady.
You two are acquainted.
Yes, sir.
Friar Tuck, we will have to talk after the ceremony.
Yes, sir.
I would think you have other matters in mind for after the ceremony.
All in due time. Which we'll never get to unless we start the ceremony. Get on with it.
Yes, of course. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to pay our final respects to... Sorry, it just slipped.
Friar, unless you want to officiate your own funeral, start again.
Of course, of course. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join these two people in holy matrimony.
Yes, we
To
know
make-
all that. Get to the part about sickness and health till death do us part.
Forgive me, Sheriff, but I must do it by the book. This book. Now, if there's anyone here who objects...
I object!
Well,
Is this a joke? Get back to your party. Post guard, it might be your last chance to stand this one.
I'll do no such thing. And by the way, neither will you nor the fine lady Marion.
Who are you?
I'm the man that's going to put a stop to this unfit wedding. But you can call me John Little.
Or you could call him Little John if you like, but he won't like it.
Why, you little.
Not now. For God's sake, you two could drive someone straight to the grave.
Right. Let that be a warning to you, Sheriff.
What do you think you're doing?
Putting a stop to this unfit wedding.
hey! I've been exercising.
Not because of you, Friar. This is absurd. Is there not a guard here who actually works under my commission?
Actually, all of your guards are out of commission.
Look at how old you are. How young she is.
There's nothing wrong with that. It happens.
True. But does it ever happen when the groom is not the bride's true love?
Actually, I've seen a few of those.
Shut up, Friar. Oh, forgive me, Friar, but whose side are you on anyway?
Oh, so it's okay for you to question sightings on what I do. Right. Right. So, either Marion is released for marrying you today, or we'll dole out the fiercest pain a church could house.
You rabble will pay for this.
Do you really think you're in a position to make threats?
You're already outlaws. Killing the sheriff on his wedding day. Even you do-gooders will survive that stick.
We won't have to. Let him go.
What?
Let the sheriff go.
You
We must.
can't.
Yes, we can.
You!
At your service.
You're supposed to be at my prison.
I didn't think much of the accommodations.
Well, you can serve me by standing down.
I prefer to serve your people by standing up to you. Now, I suggest you leave before my men
And women.
do to you what they want to.
But you can't let...
Leave now.
You may have won this day, but on another day you will lose it all, and that day is soon.
Killing led to the two most significant changes in my life. I won't have it lead to the third.
Really? Well, what is the third, pray tell?
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today.
What makes you sure I'd want to marry you?
If you didn't, you could easily defeat me.
They would never let me.
To see me defeated in battle, twice, by the woman I love, they would never let me hear the end of it.
I suppose I could spare you of that.
To join these two wonderful people in holy moly! Already gone ahead and kissed the bride.
and Marion. Together at last. Some say it took too long, others too fast. We feasted and drank till all our ills sank. Then Marion told us the plot of the sheriff, and Robin swore his punishment would be stiff. Would be stiff.
The rhyming.
No?
No.
You know, being a minstrel isn't easy.
Ever try being a minstrel's wife?
No, not qualified.
Not qualified for what?
Oh, he's not qualified to be my wife.
What?
Never mind. Just focus on the task at hand.
Are you telling me what to do?
Of course not. I'd never do that. Now go sit down till Robin gets here.
Right.
When do you think he'll be back?
Any time now.
Ah, newlyweds.
What about them?
Well, they just... Well, look who are best friends now.
Look at those two. I bet they were in cahoots together. I bet they both betrayed Robin.
Will you just let it go? Nobody betrayed anybody. Sometimes people tell other people news without it being part of some evil conspiracy.
Sure, that's exactly what they want you to think.
Would you just shut that noise once and for all?
Fine, fine. Don't say I didn't warn you.
You warned us. You warned us of something that will never happen.
What was that about?
You don't know? John is confused about what you was planted with us by the sheriff, so you tell Robin about the archery contest so he could trap him.
Oh, that? That was me, right?
Was it? I thought it was me.
You were both more helpful when you weren't here.
Oh.
They just returned. They'll be here in a moment. Quietness. I know you haven't been comfortable around us, being outlaws and all. Thank you for letting us be here. It's important. I know. You are all serving a greater good, especially in the days ahead. Your methods aren't ideal, but we don't live in an ideal world. Maybe you'll help us get closer to one.
Everybody, let's get ready to give them the welcome of a lifetime.
Criers, you amaze me. I never thought you'd allow 100 outlaws to impose on you like this.
For this cause, these outlaws are no imposition. As long as everyone returns tomorrow with news that the battle is over, rather than returning with the battle.
Or not returning at all.
We can come back later.
You come back. Robin!
Well, if it isn't Mr. and Mrs. of the Hood.
Not Mr. and Mrs. Hood?
So how is married life treating you, huh?
I don't know yet. But my married wife is treating me great.
Oh,
Enjoy every minute of it.
Treat every moment like it's your last. I didn't mean...
We're treating every moment like it's our first.
Enough with this romantic rubbish. Let's talk. More drink.
How much more drink if you won't be able to talk?
All right. Before we're too far gone, let's make sure we remember what we have to do tomorrow.
And not to get too far gone, you can't do what we need to tomorrow.
Exactly. So, the sheriff's marching his forces to behind the king's ranks.
He intends to take them by surprise by attacking from the rear. Maybe it'll surprise the king's men, and maybe it wouldn't.
But they're never going to find out.
Yeah.
Because we're going to do to the sheriff's forces exactly what he thinks he's going to do to the king's.
See, Robin, this is why we need you around. None of us would have ever thought of anything like that.
Actually, it was my idea.
Oh. Well. Off with you then, Robin. We have everything we need right here.
We must start strong, and every moment will count.
We'll have Surprise on our side, but that's a fleeting ally. We need to inflict enough damage while Surprise is with us. Otherwise, once it's gone, we'll have no chance at all.
Good pick me up there, Uncle.
This is different than anything we've ever done before. We have to be ready for that. The risk is greater, but so are the rewards. Now, as for you...
I must go back.
No, you must go back. Really?
Someone must go back to the Shire to ensure that order is maintained.
Well, the friar can do that.
Not by himself, he can't.
I'll send someone else with him.
Robin, out of all of this rabble, she and I are the only two non-outlaws.
She and I are now in-laws.
But we were just married.
And we still will be.
We can be useful in a fight.
And I'll be useful to the friar in a fight. If he needs me.
Hey, I can fight too, you might recall. But it's like they say, no one should ever fight alone.
That's all right. If you were here, I'd just be worried about what was happening to you this whole time.
I'd be fine. But I'd be worried about you being distracted by being worried.
Oh my God, you too!
I'll see you before you notice I'm gone.
I've already noticed.
One more thing before you go. Not that you needed the reminder.
Not that you needed the reminder.
All right, Robin. The truth.
What?
Do you expect us all to die tomorrow? Is that why you let Marion go back?
Of course not. And of course not. We need someone back at the Shire to make sure there's still a Shire to come back to. Can't be one of us outlaws, and the friar can't do it alone.
He's right. Besides, if we thought we were all going to die tomorrow, we'd have a different plan, right? Right?
Right.
Okay then. Let's all have another pint together. Yeah! In case it's our last.
scratch. I knew you'd be here alone, pacing anxiously, so I decided to keep you company.
Sit down here and tell me how the battle's going.
I'm fine. But if it makes you feel like you're doing your duty by treating me, I'll pretend I'm hurt.
Robin, you're burning up.
Oh, good. It's freezing in here. That'll keep me warm. Oh!
That's for making jokes. Now talk to me. Is the battle over?
I don't know. The sheriff was one of the first to fall. He approached his ranks from behind, and there he was, bringing up the rear.
If you dispatched the sheriff so quickly, shouldn't the battle have been short?
His men kept fighting with Sir William Dale trying to lead them.
What about your people?
I don't know. John forced me to come back here. That's the last I saw of anyone.
So you don't know?
I'm sure they're fine. Oh! Oh! I thought you were well trained as a bloodletter.
Never you mind. Now, what of the king? Were you able to prevent the sheriff's attack on him?
We reached them before they reached the king's forces.
The king will make you Earl of Huntington for this.
I have no interest in such titles. I would rather remain a yeoman doing good for others than live a favored life where putting others first is unseemly.
The king would not take kindly to your refusal, no matter what you did to earn it.
Probably not.
You'd make an enemy of the king for whom you just risked everyone's life to protect.
I don't intend to make enemies, but if that's the case, so be it.
But you have a talent for making enemies, cousin. The sheriff surviving men whose leader you killed, the king you protected only to make an enemy of him when he thanks you for it, all the noblemen you've affronted over the years by robbing them.
Me doing good makes them enemies, it's their choice.
And what of your people? If any even survive, or their kin? You're putting all of them in jeopardy too, especially if there's no one left to protect them. For all you know, the sheriff's men have already gone back after Lady Marian. No! Let that be a lesson. Stay still.
You're a good teacher.
On some subjects, maybe. Consequences is apparently not one of them.
I did what I did to protect us all.
Of course. And now so have I. It's nearly over. Just rest. I must ask you to leave. He needs his rest.
Oh, it looks like he's headed for his final rest. I didn't think his wounds were that serious. Is he going to be all right?
Everything will be all right. Just let him rest.
What have you done?
Only what was necessary.
Robin, it's me. John Little? Little John?
You made you say it.
If you weren't laying there helpless, I'd knock you one.
But how are you here? The sheriff's forces and Sir William.
Sir William was wounded and began to retreat with a few surviving sheriff's men. Everyone else is still giving chase, but I came to check on you. You'll be all right. You'll see in a week's time you'll be roaming the woodlands as boldly as ever.
Heaven bless your kind rough heart. We will never roam these woodlands together again.
We will. Who dares to say that any more harm will come to you? I'm here now. Who dares to
So
say
the sheriff is dead. And his forces were defeated.
Yes. Why?
Oh, Robin, I'm so sorry.
For what? A little bloodletting?
More than a little. I should have stopped it minutes ago.
What?
I thought you had betrayed us all, gotten your people killed, endangering my Abbey and the people in Surrey.
What have you done?
I didn't want it to come to this. I tried to get you to stop. At that point, I still thought you were doing wrong. Then the sheriff, knowing we were kin, had me pass word of the archery contest to the silence.
The sheriff threatened to destroy this abbey if I didn't.
Oh, if any harm should befall him because of what's happened here, I swear by St. George, the Red Rooster will crow over the roof of this house because the hotlings will lick every crack and cranny. And as for these women, it will be an ill day for them.
No, you must not take revenge. Not on these women. They do good for so many, despite what one of them did to me today. No ill should befall this place, no matter what happens. Swear it.
I'll swear about it.
Swear it.
All right, I swear it.
Tell our Colonel Fryer that fate found me. It's inevitable now, but I see a greater purpose.
What purpose?
Continue what we've done. Tell everyone. A legacy of doing good, of helping those that can't help themselves.
Well, you can't help yourself, and I can't help you.
Tell everyone. It will help me live long beyond today. Little Johnny, my dear friend, and who I love better than all others in this world, besides my Lady Marian. Mark where this arrow lands. And put my grave there. Lay me down facing to the east. See that my resting place is kept green, and that my weary bones are not disturbed.
We were told Robin came back here. Leave him alone and stay over here. No. No. Anyone goes within 20 feet of him, I swear I will tear down this abbey over your heads until not one stone is left on another.
Are you mad? We have to help him.
No, he's gone.
But he wasn't wounded that badly.
Robin fought more battles than we did today. Who did this to him? No, it does not matter. No revenge will be taken for him. He was my kin. It's not up to you. He instructed me. I was as close to him as anyone. He wants us to carry out his legacy. That nobility was not from noble title, but from noble service. Helping others before helping ourselves. Isn't that right, Priors?
Robin was a noble, well-intended soul.
Stop him! No one can enter here!
Marian, I'm sorry.
No, it's too late. She insisted on staying to fight.
It is the first day of a new world that Robin helped create and protect. And we will honor it at the grave that he chose. The place where his final arrow just landed. Come. We have work to do.
Thus died Robin Hood, the Kirkleys nunnery in fair Yorkshire, with mercy in his heart for those who were his undoing, just as he showed mercy to those who erred and pity for the weak through all his years. We, his merry men, women, scattered back to our previous lives, and a more merciful sheriff succeeded, the one that Robin defeated. We live on in peace and quiet, abiding by the values that Robin gave us, and telling his tale to extend his life beyond his years. And still, we visit his gravestone, here in Yorkshire, which bears the inscription, here underneath this little stone, lay Robert, Earl of Huntingdon. No archer was he so good. The people called him Robin Hood. Such outlaws as he, his men, will England never see again.